you play under pressure? Are you the type of athlete on your team that actually loves the pressure, that actually needs it maybe to be able to play at your very best? Or are you the type of athlete that tends to crumble underneath it, where it's just such a great weight on you, the anxiety is a little bit too much, the expectation is a little bit too much? No matter where you find yourself today, understand that being able to be clutch, to be able to play under pressure is a process, and there's an ability that you have to be able to train your mind and train your body to play and perform at your absolute best no matter the circumstance. I'm Coach Britt. This is episode 8 of Mental Skills Monday. Let's get to it. So how can you train yourself to be able to be clutch under pressure, to be able to perform at your absolute best no matter the expectations, pressures that might be placed on you? Here's the thing, like I said before, this is something that can't be trained. A lot of coaches and people out there think that only certain athletes are born to be in those moments, to be able to make that clutch play or whatever it might be, and then other athletes are not so much. They're not really born for that, they're not really made for that. And that's totally false. Being able to train your mind, be calm, composed, confident, right? Be able to lock into the zone when you need it, right? When your team needs it the most, is something that can be totally trained. And in this video, I'm going to provide you with a few mental skills that you can start working on, start practicing, start training, right? So when you get into these moments, in these clutch moments, you're going to be totally prepared for that. And when you start thinking about a few great athletes out there, right, some of the GOATs like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, any type of athlete that you think about, you might think like, man, are they clutch? And we think about moments in history where they've made incredible plays, and we think that, man, those guys, they're clutch, right? They know how to handle pressure without a doubt, man. You give them the ball, they're going to be able to make a play. And at the same time, you gotta realize that that's not always the case, and maybe that wasn't always the case. Here's a clip of Kobe Bryant early in his career. I think he was a rookie at this point, where he definitely crumbled under pressure, and see what his perspective was on that.
But in the 1997 playoffs, the young rookie would get his first taste of postseason pressure. Facing elimination in Game 5 against the Utah Jazz, Kobe took the fate of the Lakers into his own hands.
Bryant for three, it's short again, air ball, the young rookie, 3 times, he shot air balls, here at pressure.
You gotta put it behind you. Those are one of those things where there's a fine line, because it can make you or it can break you. And I like to turn every negative thing into a positive.
And then we have athletes like a young Tiger Woods, who I'll show you this clip where he talks about how pressure actually hypes him up, right? Great athletes, when they get to a certain level of competition and the pressure is high, the expectation is high, they realize that the passion for the game, the pleasure of the game, of being able to play the game at all, that has to be greater than the pressure. See what Tiger Woods had to say about this topic.
My competitiveness, that sort of brings me through in the clutch. When you have to make a putt, you make a putt. You have to hit this shot, you hit the shot. You just sort of like drop into another zone, and you block out everything. Face the competition. I love competition. The pressure, it just kind of pumps me up, and I play better.
The truth is, we've got to change our relationship with pressure, right? So if you let pressure overwhelm you and overtake your body and your mind, it will break you, right? It will cause you to break down and be able to get nervous and not be able to be in the zone and locked in when you need to be. But if you love pressure, if you expect pressure, if you dive into it, if you embrace it, it will make you into the athlete that you want to be and make you into a better athlete, right? So it's all about the relationship that you have with pressure. So how do we change that relationship, right? Because either I can let it break me and I can fear it, or I can expect it and love it and actually use it to my advantage. But how do we do that? Well, first, for one, it's got to start in practice. A lot of times athletes, they expect themselves to be able to be clutch, be able to make great plays, right? In those last few seconds of a game, be able to do this, and that. And the truth is, if you haven't practiced that, how can you expect yourself to be able to perform in that way? So if you have a personal trainer, a skills coach, or if you're a coach yourself and you're watching this, put pressure situations in your practice schedule. Put pressure situations in, kind of your schedule and your layout for your client, right? If you train yourself, if you're an athlete and you practice it at home or at your nearby park, right? Put yourself in pressure situations, right? That might be like a time-based skill drill, right? Putting the time pressure on yourself, having goals that you set each time you go out to practice, right? Putting pressure on yourself to be able to kind of do better than you did last practice, do better than you did last time you did that drill, right? To beat your time, whether it's during conditioning or whatever. It's really a mindset, right? Because if practice is filled with pressure and it's filled with expectation and it's filled with this belief that, man, we have a high expectation for you, right, that coach puts on you, or a high expectation you put on yourself, but that belief that you can overcome it and belief that you can reach that standard, right? If you continually put that on yourself in a practice situation, when it gets to a game and that same expectation, that same pressure is placed on you, man, you feel at home. You kind of feel like it's a norm. Like, yeah, I expect to shine in this moment right now. I expect that ball to come to me in those last few seconds. I expect myself to take that shot, that game-winning shot, right? Or to throw that ball, to make that pitch, or to get that strike, right? Whatever it is, right? You expect that of yourself, and man, if it goes the way you want, awesome. If it doesn't, man, at least you took that risk and you took that moment, right? And had that self-belief in that moment. So it's all about changing that relationship that you have with pressure within your mind. And how do we do that? Man, you've got to put yourself in those pressure situations as often as you can. On top of that, right, how do we change the relationship we have with pressure? It's within your self-talk. What do you say to yourself when the pressure's on? What do you say to yourself when you feel that expectation is on you to be able to accomplish a certain thing or play or perform to a certain level? Like, what is that inner dialogue like, right? Because a lot of times we have a fearful relationship with pressure based on just the things that we say to ourselves. Like, man, I hope the ball doesn't come to me, right? Or I hope I'm not the one that has to shoot the last shot. I hope coach calls to play for somebody else because I'm not ready, right? And we don't even realize we're having this dialogue, or maybe you do. Right? And I mean, trust me, as a player, as an athlete, I've had that conversation with myself before when I just didn't feel ready for the moment. And I'm telling myself these things, I'm speaking these things over myself, and I guarantee you, it's going to affect how you play. You're gonna play fearful, you're gonna play hesitant, and you're not gonna be locked in, you're not gonna be in the zone, you're not gonna be able to perform when your team needs you the most. But if your self-talk is more positive, if it's filled with confident statements, right? If it's filled with just speaking life over yourself, of just kind of positivity, right? You understand that the clock's coming down, the game's getting tighter, whatever it might be, right? You start saying positive things to yourself, right? It's my moment, right? It's my time. I've practiced, I prepared for this moment, right? Speak that over yourself. Man, I want that ball, right? If I get that ball, cool, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do right now to help my team win. And if it's me, it's me, and I'm ready to go, right? Start speaking confidently over yourself, and trust me, you're gonna realize the difference that it makes. You want to be proactive about that, right? If it's a huge game, it's a rival game, or it's going to be a tight game, it really doesn't even matter what kind of game it's going to be. I mean, you want to go in there ready to go to battle no matter who you're playing, no matter what kind of situation you're in. But you always want to be proactive about that and start speaking positively, confidently to yourself all throughout the game. So when the pressure comes down to that last moment, right, when it's time to be clutch or whatever it might be, man, you've been ready the whole game for that moment. It's not just a quick switch, right? I've been ready the whole game, and I put pressure on myself, right, to just do well today. So the pressure that you might be trying to put on me, right, it might be the opponent, whatever it might be, the other team, it's not news to me, right? I came ready for this moment. So again, self-talk is huge. It's so important. Secondly, routines. I can't tell you how important routines are when it comes down to clutch and pressure situations. Think about the free throw. Right? I mean, the free throw, just generally speaking, is one of the easiest shots you can ever make in the game of basketball. There's no defense on you. You got 10 seconds to shoot it. It's really not that far out from the basket, right? It's just a no-brainer. But what makes the free throw so hard, right? It's the pressure. It's the expectation. It's the people behind the basket with the signs and the screaming and the yelling, right? It's a mind game, right? So what makes the free throw easier? Right, well, it's the routine, right? It's a routine that every single player has. It's unique to them. And what does that routine do for them? Is it a ritual? Was it just something we just do just because of the fun of it, because it's cool and everyone has their own style? No, we do it intentionally, right? Because what that routine should be doing for you, right, if you have your own routine, it's supposed to get you calm. It's supposed to get you kind of focused, right? It redirects your focus on that basket and not that player or that, that crowd or that noise, right? It's supposed to familiarize yourself with that kind of moment and that environment, right? You've done this a billion times. You've bounced that ball a billion times, right? So you get to block out your environment and zone in on that basket so that if it comes down to that last shot, that last free throw to win the game, you've made that shot a million times in an empty gym, so you can do it a million times in a gym full of crazy people and crazy loud audience and all types of stuff. That's what a routine does for you. So that's an example for basketball, football, softball, baseball. It doesn't matter what sport you play. Routines are ingrained in every single sport in different moments, and that's what a routine is supposed to do for you. So be intentional when you go to practice and you're doing your free throws, right? Don't just shoot free throws. Make sure you get your routine in every single time, right? Make sure, try to visualize a loud gym, visualize a pressure situation, right? Again, going back to practice, put yourself in these pressure situations and use those routines to get yourself to kind of calm down. That's the whole goal of routine. So think about that. How can that help you in pressure situations to be able to regulate yourself and get yourself refocused on what you want to do? And again, to just make it just a no-brainer, right? And at the free throw, I don't really want to be thinking so much about, my fall through and where I want to aim and where my eyes are. No, a routine kind of gets you in kind of this just no thinking mode, right? I'm not thinking about it, I'm just doing it. That's what a routine does, and that's how it can help you in pressure situations. Lastly, guys, so we can talk about the mind, right? How we want to shift this relationship with pressure and the perspective and the interpretation of the situation, right? That's all good and dandy, but let's get real. It doesn't matter if the pressure is on, if it's that last second, if that last moment in a game, and it's time to go to time to be clutch. Your body is definitely having a reaction, right? What happens when we're nervous? We already know, right? The increased heart rate, I'm sweating a bit, shortness of breath. For me as an athlete, when it came down to the last few seconds of a close game, I noticed immediately my breathing would get really short. And I had asthma, so it was all types of that, right? And early on in my career, I didn't know how to fix that. Like I did, and I was the point guard, so I had to really lead my team, and I had no idea how to really do that, right? Because my breathing would get out of control, and of course that would affect my performance and my ability to, to be clutch and all kind of stuff. So what do you do, right? And I kind of go back to this a billion times in these videos, but it's using the breath. Use the breath, deep breathing in these moments to bring yourself back down to a calm and a composed state. In these moments, your adrenaline is going, and you definitely need adrenaline, right? So I'm not saying to come down to a really, really relaxed state, because that's definitely not what you want to do. You want to be alert, you want to be kind of upbeat, right? Ready to go, ready to catch that ball, ready to throw that pass, ready to swing that bat, whatever it is, you need that adrenaline. But you want to be able to calm down that anxiety that you might be having, whether it's cognitive, right, thoughts, or kind of more within yourself, within your body, kind of like increased heart rate. You want to be able to calm that down to a certain level where you're able to operate and you're able to kind of think clearly. You're able to lock into kind of that zone, and that's the idea that breath is what you bring you down to where you need to be, because you might be a little bit too high up when it comes to the anxiety and things like that. So that's key, because again, it's a mindset, it's a mental thing when it comes to pressure, but you better believe your body's gonna have an emotional and physiological reaction to that. If you can't get that under control, it doesn't really matter what you're thinking, because your body's got to be able to operate kind of efficiently and to the best of its ability to be able to be relaxed, right? If you got the ball coming to you, and really when we get kind of short breaths and the anxiety comes, our body and our muscles actually tense up, right? So how is your fall through and your form going to be as silky and clean, and that shot going to be as wet as you want it to be if your muscles are tense, right? Or that throw, that accuracy is not going to be there, right? If your arm and your shoulder is kind of tense, or that pitch, whatever it is. So making sure that we take these deep breaths to get that oxygen to our brain, oxygen to our muscles, loosen it up, so we can kind of go out there and just compete and not think too much about it. So that's just a few things I want you guys to think about. Man, this is a huge topic, and everyone's situation is different. Everyone finds themselves in a different spot, but everybody wants to be clutch, right? Everybody wants to be that go-to athlete. So if you got questions, hit me up in the comments, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're watching this thing, hit me up. I'm more than happy to talk to you about it and help you to kind of increase your ability to just be mentally tough in these situations. I'll catch you next time on this channel for the next video. Keep it going, keep coming back. I hope you're learning, hope you're enjoying these videos. And again, hit me up if you want to get some mental training, just to join the Heart and Soul family. Be the best athlete you can possibly be. Catch you next time.